I am Chief Jerry Wright. I want to welcome you to our award ceremony. Probably one of the most important things we do here at the department. I figured that out early on. There's almost nothing better than coming together and celebrating people's achievements. It's great for the person receiving the award. It's great for colleagues and peers to cheer them on. And man, is it really great for that family, that supportive, loving family. I wish every single one of you could see it from my eyes when that recipient's name is called, and that family's pride and support, sacrifice, all that. It's wrapped up into that tractor beam of a look. It's amazing. It's amazing. We have some incredible police work to share with you all today. We're coming off of an unbelievable, victorious, and successful week at the Pasadena Police Department last week. Two very high-profile cases worked on by a multitude of divisions. I'm not even going to name them all. I'm telling you, it was a lot. It was a lot. And came together and culminated in the arrest of two cases I'm sure you heard about in the news for a while. There were big cases to come to the end of. I'm so proud of everybody. Things could not be going better as far as communication and collaboration across units to get a unified mission done and accomplished for the safety of the community. Every command, in fact, we had a big meeting at the end of last week, and every single one of our 10 commands, they are excelling at everything that they're doing out here in the community. Now, before we get started, I do want to recognize a few folks in the audience. First of all, always recognize our Mayor, Jeff Wagner. Thank you for being here, sir. The mayor has supported us in an unbelievable way. He doesn't just say, hey, Chief, what do you need? He always says to me, hey, Chief, what do you need to take us to the next level, make our department and our people the best we can be? Now, that kind of support, if you're a chief, that's what you need. You got to have that support. It's amazing. Helps everything work better. I also want to recognize Mayor's Chief of Staff, Dan Pennington, is here. Dan. And Rex Lindberg, Director of Communications, is here also. We have Civil Service Commissioner Blair McClure, okay, big supporter of our police department. Thank you what you do on the commission. And we have Councilman Thomas Schoenbein is also here to support us. Thank you for being here. All right. I think I got everybody. Maybe not. We got a big room today. I might have missed someone. No offense if I did. I do have to recognize my entire admin staff. Look around you. This is a packed room. It takes a lot of work to get an award ceremony produced and written, and amazing job by everybody involved in that. My admin staff, my media team, also our awards committee. They have the very tough job. They get submitted all the letters, all the great things that happen that few people actually hear about, but these letters are coming in every single week of great work being done. They have to select the top ones, but they're all deserving. We have a very long history of recognizing great work at the Pasadena Police Department. That has been going on for generations. And what a legacy. And today we carry on that tradition. You will hear about professionalism, service, sacrifice, bravery, and yes, there's some heroism in there too. Such an exciting awards ceremony to be a part of, actually. What a privilege it is for me. That brings me to our first award. I want to invite up our DWI unit, Officers Paul Bennett, Eric Besserud, Brian Rohr, Sergeant Chris Oliver, Sergeant Jesse Baum. If you're here, please come forward. And we don't do this all the time, but I want to do it today. Yes. If you're here, please come forward and be recognized as major contributors to this mission. Officer Kerry Smith, Cody Powell, and Austin Miller. Anybody here? Okay. And I'll tell you what they did that they should be recognized too. Our DWI task force was formally recognized at this past year's Mothers Against Drunk Driving region-wide award ceremony. And if you have never heard of this, it is enormous. It involves the entire region, the big agencies, Harris County Sheriff's Office, Houston. But our DWI unit was recognized for 445 DWI cases filed in a single year. That's quite something for a 3-person unit, I can tell you that. Well done. Congratulations to you all. These following awards were given out, and I want everyone to hear them publicly. The Distinguished Enforcement Hero Award for the most DWI arrests went to Officer Besserud. Hold your applause. Officer Rohr received the Outstanding Rookie Award in DWIs. He is not a rookie in our department. And the entire unit received the Outstanding Service Award for going above and beyond in leadership and prevention and enforcement. As I said, it's pretty impressive when you think that they're going up against the very, very big agencies. And we were so impressed by that. I can't say that enough. They took home the prestigious awards. Now that does deserve a round of applause. But there's something else that they did in addition to all that great DWI enforcement. DWI members have also made great strides in training new officers. You might have noticed we've been cranking out the new officers with the help of our everybody pulling on that rope at the same time, our academy staff all throughout the department and recruiting. They've been getting the job done and filling the seats, and these DWI officers have in fact trained the last 2 full cadet classes upon their graduation from field training. We call them PPOs, not rookies, not boots, not greenhorns, just PPOs. We also call them a captive audience for new programs because they can't say no, basically. That unit of training accomplished, it was additional one-on-one training for each shift. Now imagine what a force multiplier that is. If you have a shift of 3 very hard-working DWI officers, it's a very specialized skill. What do you want to do? You want to replicate that. You want to multiply it. And what a major force multiplier it was, because the other 3 shifts where those officers come in, Officer Smith, Officer Powell, and Officer Miller, they help them achieve that mission of training every single shift, all new people. So you have massive amounts of additional enforcement, keeping our roads safe. As I say, they are in it to win it, very enthusiastic about their mission. If you drive in the city or you have loved ones who do, we owe them a debt of gratitude. A round of applause again for them. It brings me great honor to reward them and award them with the Unit Citation Award. Very good. Well done. Well done. Well done, sir. Well done. All right. I'm going to take some pictures.
Gentlemen up here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Good. Okay. Sergeant Oliver, Sergeant Baum. Where's Oliver? He's not here.
He's not here.
Would you like to say a few words?
Oh, sure.
So, I'm not going to, get onto the numbers. Chief did a great job about that. I will say thank you guys. I took over this unit 3 months ago, so I'm fairly new. And you guys are understaffed, overworked. With the minimum amount of griping, you guys come in and you put in the work, and I appreciate that. I would say you guys are underpaid, but I signed your OT, so that's not it. But I just want to say you guys are doing a great job. Officer Miller, thank you for covering evening shift. I mean, we need all the help we can get, but keep up the good work, guys. Thank you.
All right, way to go, way to go. That's some outstanding work. Now we have an Outstanding Performance Award to give out. Okay, I want to invite up some officers. Ian Doskasil, Edgar Pena, Chad Johnston, Jonathan Feeback, and Hunter Trujillo. Hunter Trujillo. Really, Hunter? Again, do you just throw these in the closet at this point? He's been here a time or two, but seriously, we're very proud of him. And way to go, Jonathan Feeback, made SWAT today. Very good. Very good. I didn't even know he liked SWAT. You like SWAT, I like SWAT. Did we just become best friends? I don't know. All right. Folks, our Our officers have to respond to every kind of situation. Problems great and small, as unpredictable as they are dangerous, and still they suit up every day, go out there and handle those problems to keep people safe. Think of that. Late last fall, officers were dispatched to a disturbance with a weapon call. Once on scene, they found a victim with a very large wound to the torso. It was a knife wound. He'd been attacked by a machete-wielding neighbor, and then that person, the suspect, retreated back to the apartment and locked himself in. Upon arriving, officer feedback immediately administered first aid to stop the victim's bleeding. Very important. Probably saved their life. While other officers secured the suspect's apartment, got him contained. Officers continued first aid until paramedics arrived. Officers covered the suspect's apartment while many other officers kept the rest of the neighboring residents out of harm's way. Officer Johnston and Officer Pena tried communicating with the suspect. He wasn't having it, but eventually Officer Edgar Pena did break through that communication barrier, through the door, and talk to the suspect. With solid negotiation tactics and a good bit of patience, Officer Pena got the message across to the suspect. It was in his best interest to come out peacefully. Well, that's what the suspect did. Could have gone a much different way, though. Could have been a standoff, could have been massive resources deployed. But officers worked as a team to stop the victim's bleeding, protect the other residents, and get a very violent felon off the streets. There's a lot more to that story, but that is the highlight overview and a job well done. It brings me great honor to present each of you with the Outstanding Performance Award.
Thank you again.
Well done, sir.
Thanks. All eyes up here. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, gentlemen.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. Outstanding job. All right. We're going to keep on going. We have a special group to recognize. It's a command area I've been a big fan of for a long time. Watched them grow, watched them evolve over the years. I'm proud of how far they've come. I would like to invite up PSOs Victoria Alarcon, Austin Navarez, Adrian Torres, and PSO Supervisor Preston Moody. Please come forward. All right, late last summer, tell you what they're being recognized for. Late last summer, a prisoner suffered a major medical event in our jail. A violent seizure, in fact. Supervisor Moody immediately recognized this and removed everybody from the area. PSO Alarcon rolled a female victim on her side into the recovery position, while PSO Torres called for EMS, and then the entire group assisted in keeping the victim from injuring herself or choking, and did this consistently for about 7 minutes. They thought it was ended there. EMTs arrived, took over, transported to the hospital. About 4 hours later, they released this inmate, or prisoner. She came back. And of course, here we go again, another seizure, but this time it was much, much more severe, I'm told. They got to work immediately, and this time it was more serious, and they were in a bad way because every ambulance was tied up on other calls, and that does happen sometimes. So our PSO team, very proud of this, they were forced to make do on their own, and they began assisting this person for some 30 minutes, protecting her head and keeping her airway clear. And it was getting more and more dire as they were going along. To make matters worse, things took a turn and the victim's pulse became very, very faint. PSOs retrieved the AED, automatic external defibrillator. I had to practice that several times, actually, say that right. They were poised to use it, and thankfully EMS arrived just in time to take over. I'll tell you what, our PSOs, they've been through a lot, and they have a top-notch area. They handled themselves with the utmost professionalism. Their training kicked in, and they showed this person extreme compassion. And for me, when I looked at that case, I said, you know what, I'm proud to be in an agency where that's the default. That's what kicks in. I'm honored to present them also with the Outstanding Performance Award.
Thank you.
Well done. May I take a picture with you?
Can we all move that way a little bit? That's good, right? Thank you so much. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Very good. While you collect your awards, Supervisor Preston Moody, would you like to say a few words?
The same as Sergeant Baum, didn't really prepare anything. This is for all the PSOs that do good work every single day, and sometimes it's just considered part of the job. But you know, this is what we do. This is what we go to work for, and you know, lucky for my team. But you know, we're getting top-notch people out there, and thank you all for your support.
Preston, that's great leadership. We have a lot of great leaders throughout our department, every single command. I will tell you that, and we'll talk about them in just a little bit. This next award recognizes many people across several units, and that showcases what can be accomplished when we come together as a team. This is an amazing case, too. I want to talk about one of those teams within this larger group and say a few words, talking about our SWAT folks. This team is battle-tested, battle-effective, and the best at what they do. I want to invite up first all of our SWAT members, and there's a bunch of them, and I'm going to name them. Officer Mark Pena, some aren't here. Officer Mark Pena, Jacob Guerra, Jason Bright, Ricky Wiley, Jermaine Garrett, Brandon Burse, Damon Dre, Michael Turner, Nick Kalunga, Harrison Smith, Brian Werner, Jordan Edwards, Jose Mendez, and Sergeant Devin Franklin. I will tell you something. I'll go back to what I said at the very intro about having a completely stellar week last week in the work that has been done throughout our department. I saw these guys grouped up on our east lot underneath the big oak trees. They were in their tactical gear. They had just arrested a major suspect in a high-profile case. They were gearing down, taking a much-needed break. And I just looked at them, and I could only salute them because knowing that our department has not only that resource when we need it and when the community needs it, but we've got other folks that are experts as they are in other areas, our Gulf Coast Task Force, and many, many different areas to go out and get these criminals that need to be gotten in a very safe way, and that's their specialty. I just wanted to say that. What an asset it is to our department. I would also like to ask the following to come forward. Lead detective in the case I'm going to describe, Luis Garcia. Former detective, now instructor, Sylvia Trevino. And Sergeant Scott Michael, who's their supervisor at the time. And lastly, I want to invite, there's not enough rank up here actually. I want to invite some rank up here. Lieutenant Josh Ridings. Lieutenant Vicente Gonzalez. And Assistant Chief John Dombroa. Okay, that's too much rank, never mind. No, I'm proud of these. I'm very, very proud of these guys and gals. On midsummer last year, SWAT members were requested to assist in the apprehension of a violent felony suspect and the recovery of a child hostage. Family violence detectives requested SWAT to serve a felony warrant for aggravated assault. Family member, the suspect had actually used brass knuckles on his wife, the child's mother. That's not dramatic enough. The victim told detectives she had been allowed to leave, but the suspect kept the 9-year-old behind closed doors and he had been previously convicted of murder in Louisiana and had a house full of firearms. The victim feared for the daughter's safety, and so did we, frankly. She told officers that her daughter generally greets her in the driveway, but only under the watchful eye of the suspect. So, our great SWAT team, working with detectives and supervision, developed a plan to have a SWAT officer ride along in the mother's vehicle hidden from view and have the mother pull into the driveway like normal. The SWAT officer would then assist that one in the car in evacuating mother and daughter while the rest of the team covered and approached the house all at the same time. Well, the operation went exactly according to plan. With surgical precision and perfect timing, as the team approached the house, mom and daughter were ushered away just as the suspect appeared in the doorway. This gave SWAT officers a split-second window of opportunity to go hands-on. That means take him down and get him into custody before he could retreat back into his stronghold. I use the word stronghold in this one because it was later found that all those guns in the house were strategically placed in certain spots indicative of somebody ready for a fight with someone with guns. And that was clear. I will tell you what, the case highlights the dangers officers face every single day in the job, but still they confront it head on and put themselves directly in harm's way to protect others. They don't ask for recognition. They're uncomfortable being up here. That's just what they do, and it's really quite extraordinary when you think about it. What began as a hostage situation ended with the safe recovery of the victim's daughter and apprehension of again, a very violent suspect in our community and society. There's a little bit more to this story, though, and I love this part. During the serving of search and arrest warrants, sometimes windows and doors get a little scratched up. Sometimes they get completely demolished. In this case, they got demolished. Well, once this situation had safely ended, our staff, our lieutenants, Lieutenant Ridings, Lieutenant Gonzalez, Assistant Chief D'Ambroa worked together to get that house secured and boarded up, all those broken windows and damaged doors and everything else. So until proper repairs could be done, they bought with their money plywood, borrowed tools from neighbors, and they got that house secured and livable for that family that had to stay there. What a great example, going above and beyond to help people well after this incident was over. It's also a great example of leadership. Talk a lot about that. And how going the extra mile in service to others is important no matter the rank you hold. These three gentlemen are some of the best leaders in the department, I'll tell you that, and we are blessed to have many leaders throughout our department and throughout our commands. I'm going to list the awards given out today, and I will ask for applause after I'm through with it. Distinguished Service Award will be going to all of our SWAT members here in the SWAT supervision, Devin Franklin. Meritorious Service Award will be going to Detective Garcia, former detective, now instructor Sylvia Trevino, and Sergeant Scott Michael. The Leadership Award will be going to Lieutenant Ridings, Lieutenant Gonzalez, and Assistant Chief D'Ambroa. Round of applause, please. Well done. Awesome. All right. Squeeze that one extra hard, actually. All right. Can I? All right, lady.
D'Ambroa, can I bother you to come to this side, please? Sure. Thank you. And on the end, just scoot in. There you go. You're good. You're good. Okay, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Excellent job, excellent job. And I'm going to ask Assistant Chief D'Ambroa to say a few words.
Don't worry, it won't take too long. I was kind of surprised to see this award come through. I had actually asked Ray Sorrell, who was over the awards committee, what did I do? I thought I must have just signed something, especially legibly or something that week. But the thing about this case, and what I want to, we've talked about all the teamwork and working together. This is what happens when the investigative unit does great work, and they make the case that they should make. And then they referred it to the appropriate division, SWAT, to execute the warrant, who did what they do. And all the follow-up and everything else that makes, us have the success and makes the place a special place to work. And everybody involved in this, I really would like to thank you. It was great work across the board. We see that kind of work consistently, and congratulations to all of you for everything you do. I appreciate it.
And that was an amazing case to highlight, amazing case. Okay, this is a big one. We've been waiting for this one. It's incredible. I would like to invite up Officers Kareem Alkawas. Where's April? Benito Gutierrez, yes. All right. And Ashley Perez. And we had hoped to have Acadian ambulance personnel on this particular call. Are you here? All right, come forward, please. I know Giovanni Vargas and Justin Haynes were there. All right. All right, here we go. Time flies so fast. Just last summer, officers were dispatched to the Fitness Connection for an unconscious and non-responsive adult male. That man was later identified as Mr. Ross. While in the pool, Mr. Ross suffered a major medical episode. Good Samaritans got him out of the pool and started CPR. These three officers arrived very, very soon after and took over those CPR efforts. Officer Alkawas soon observed, however, that the man's pulse was quickly fading. So at this point, every second mattered. Officers knew the victim in this case would likely not survive without an AED, a defibrillator, being applied immediately. Officers acted lightning fast, and they all carried Mr. Ross to a dry area well away from the pool. While Officer Ashley Perez continued chest compressions, Officers Alkawas and Gutierrez used towels to dry off Mr. Ross as best they could so they could use the device. At this point, Mr. Ross's pulse was now no longer detectable. Can you imagine that scene? I just said in just very few words something that was incredibly chaotic and unfolding very, very rapidly. Uncertainty, very heavy. Officer Alkawas shocked the victim using the AED just as EMS was arriving on scene. And then they all teamed up quickly and got to work on Mr. Ross. Officers assisted EMS in applying what's called the Lucas device, which is a machine that provides mechanical chest compressions. By the grace of God, they got a pulse back. Mr. Ross was then transported to the nearest hospital. At that time, officers had no idea his condition. Didn't look good, is all they knew. They found his car out in the parking lot, Officer Alkawas and the others. They got the registered address somehow, and they went to his home, and they notified his Mrs. Ross. The dog had been left in the car. They brought the dog to the family. And again, I'm imagining it had a tone of a notification rather than a, let me tell you the information, if you understand what I'm saying. What an amazing story, however, of this team of officers and EMS actually working to save a person's life. We found out later that Mr. Ross actually had made a recovery from those efforts, those feverish efforts of all involved. And I'll tell you what, that is God's doing and using instruments that you see here to make that happen. And I'll tell you what, we are all connected in some way or another. It turns out that Mr. Ross is actually the father of our own former PSO, Nicholas Ross, who is now Sergeant Ross with the Lake Jackson Police Department. I'm happy to report, as I said, Mr. Ross has made a full recovery. He's doing quite well, actually. He's here today with us and his son, Sergeant Nicholas Ross. Would you please come forward? Right over there. You cannot get any better than this. This is amazing. This is amazing. I can't hardly get through it, to tell you the truth. Because of their quick action, with the help of our great EMTs, and again, we have some here, Giovanni Vargas and Justin Haynes, with their quick action and everyone's calm under extreme pressure, the most pressure you can have. They saved Mr. Ross's life that day. Brings me great honor to present them all with the Meritorious Service Award. Giovanni, well done. Well done. Are you Justin?
Yes.
Awesome. We got him here. We got him right. All right. Well done, sir. That was excellent. And now, Mr. Michael Ross.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody here that saved my life. And the strange thing about it, I have zero memory of the whole situation. And I didn't wake up into the hospital until a day and a half later, and then realized I don't know what was going on. Because everybody has to tell me. I've learned a little bit more. Plus, it's the first time I've seen the team that I even know that what went on. And second, I wouldn't take your job for $1 million. Right now, I've given up and become a teacher full-time at a community college. So it's a little bit safer behind the screen or the desk, a little bit more. But it's amazing to me because, first of all, I just came back from a trip to Mexico, rural Mexico, visiting friends. Had it happened to me then, which is essentially the heart attack, you wouldn't be listening to me today, and they wouldn't have saved my life because I probably been shipped in the back in a box. But it's a really, honestly, it's an honest pleasure. It's amazing because we all have our own expertise, and all I say is be the best at what you do. Make yourself proud and others proud of you, and I'm very proud to meet everyone today because before today I had no clue. And I did get to know the person who first, I didn't even know I was in the water when they fished me out, till they told me and become friends with the person who actually fished me out of the water. And it was my bad habit to swim every day, but I just came back, like I said, from Mexico about 3 days earlier. And boy, if it happened then, adios. So, well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Truly incredible job. Congratulations to every single one of you.
By the way, the ribs, as far as the incident goes, no after effects except the stinking ribs. For 2 months, I slept in a recliner. So if you call it sleep, I don't know if I'd call it sleep. Sleepwalking.
Sarge, how about you? You want to say anything?
Thank you. I don't really have anything. It's the first time to meet you guys. Thank you, absolutely.
Yeah.
Y'all are a wonderful department. I can speak from experience. I worked here at some point. Thank you guys very much.
Oh, you got it. You got it. Okay, one more round of applause for him. All right. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one now. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. You got me all flustered with that one, I'll tell you what.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right. With all this recognition for saving lives, I want to draw attention to the importance of changing lives. Man, we're doing good on time, actually. Wow, that was going to be longer than that. Everyone, we're going to close things out on the happiest of notes. You can't beat that. That's incredible. I want to tell you about some other things, too. I want to ask the Community Engagement Unit. We used to call them community services, but they kept getting phone calls about, where do I sign up to pick up trash? True story. Thank you, Mark Adams. Appreciate that suggestion. Community Engagement Unit, come on up. Everybody. Lisa Wilczek, Letitia Robles, Mark Adams, Martina Gary, Jason Carter, Kendall Hazley, Sergeant Craig Hamilton could not be here. I think he's in training. Officer Thomas Cannon and Officer Kieran Robertson could not be here. We got Thomas? Yep. Okay. Also, who will be accepting on behalf of the Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association? President Gene, are you here? I'm sorry, I didn't see you earlier, Gene. Come on up. President of our Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association. I'll tell you why they are so critical and what it is that we do at the department. They're the spearhead, but it goes on all throughout the department. That is this thing of community engagement. What's the mission? Well, the mission is simple. We keep it simple. Do what we do best at the department and have done for generations. It's in the DNA to fight crime and suppress evil. Get out there and engage with the community. Strengthen the partnerships that have been built over decades and decades. And they lead us in that. They lead us in that effort. But we do it all throughout the department. Over the past several years, this unit has consistently and successfully planned, organized, and conducted hundreds of events, big and small, with extraordinary success. We all know about the big three, these supersized events that happen annually. National Night Out, it gets bigger and better every single year. It happens in October. We had 64 additional volunteers in addition to these folks throughout our department. And that speaks to the level of morale, the level of involvement, collaboration, everybody wanting to get in on it and go out and engage with our community. That's National Night Out. Trunk or Treat, you all know that in October. It is ever growing. Last year we served 6,500 people in attendance for that event, which is enormous. So big, Wonder Woman had to go out and buy more candy. That is a true story, right? Yes. Officer Santa, the other third one. This is also known as the Super Bowl of events. This year, Christmas was made possible for 433 children. I want to especially recognize Officer Lisa Wilczek for quarterbacking that whole event. It's a time when the entire staff comes together, additional members throughout our police department come together, our great and super and wonderful CPA alumni come out in full force in great numbers to help with the effort. And again, it grows more successful with each passing year. At this point, wow, businesses are lined up actually to donate to that great cause, keeping the program going and growing. We're so proud of it. In fact, if you've not had the chance to see Thomas Cannon's unbelievable documentary of this past year's event, go to our Facebook. If it doesn't bring a little tear to your eye, or at least make them water, well, you better check yourself for a pulse, because it's amazing. Where'd you think I was going with that? I actually saw it at a leadership conference, so I'm good. I mentioned the big ones, but there's many, many events I've seen firsthand for several years now, going back probably 7 or 8 years, how this unit works very hard all year round. They're in the schools in full force throughout the year. A lot of the kids they come across in their travels in the schools and reading programs and teaching them crime prevention, and all the rest. A lot of the kids they come across end up on our Officer Santa list, which is amazing. 2 summer camps every single year for decades and decades now, serving over thousands of kids. And once again, they make contacts and connections during those summer camps for either Officer Santa, or some of those kids go on to join our 10-week-long junior CPA class that's put on every single year and has been for many, many years. And kids from those summer camps in the Junior Citizens Police Academy, a handful of those have gone on to become officers, PSOs. You see how it's all kind of connected into the fabric of the police department, which connects into the larger fabric of the community. To me, I think that's amazing. Officers Letitia, Robles, Martin Aguirre, and Thomas really did a lot of heavy lifting on the junior CPA, and I know others in the division helped that out. Let's talk about adult CPA classes once a year. This is the way that our police department reaches out and makes connections with those folks who are interested in the department and how it works. We send our brightest and best throughout our police department, all of the specialized area, and they get quite a show and quite an education. Well, that organization has now been around in terms of our CPA Alumni Association for now in their 31st year. Imagine that, way back in the 90s. A group said, I want to help and support our police department in whatever ways that we can. And we call them, and they come out with us. They come out to the small events, the big events, and just their presence there. And I always tell them, quite frankly, money's nice and all, we really don't, need it. What we really value and appreciate is that emotional support and the smiling faces and the presence there, cheering us on. The officers love that, I'm telling you. These officers' ability to engage with the community on so many levels, building partnerships, fostering trust, and creating and strengthening those meaningful connections, like what I was saying. All these things pay huge dividends to the department, helps our support levels out in the community grow by leaps and bounds. And I will tell you, without that support, we're not going to have tremendous crown jewel academy campuses like this. Without that support, we're not going to have everything that we need to get this job done. We have amazing support throughout our community. We have amazing support in our city and our mayor's office. And it's all because of the collective work. They lead it. Everybody else gets in on the fun. It's that collective work. You go by leaps and bounds. Ultimately, that helps us to better protect and serve the community. It brings me great honor to present these dedicated officers with the Chief Citation Award. And I didn't grab it yet, but Gene, that will be another award for our great CPA alumni that you'll be accepting.
Thank you, Chief.
So thank you. Excellent job.
Yes, thank you.
It's like a pirate. Would any of you like to say a few words?
Again, like everyone else, not planning to say anything. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone in my unit, the administration for acknowledging us and all the hard work that everyone up here does. Our Officer Santa program is my favorite thing to do in the entire world, and we couldn't do it without the alumni helping us. They do so much for us, and we're so grateful. But this is my team and my family, and we appreciate everything, and thank you for all coming.
Gene, come in just a little bit. There you go. That podium is a little, let's all scooch just 6 inches that way. That's good. Good job, Jason. Wonderful. Okay, up here. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for your patience. I know this was a big one. Thank you. Enjoy some cake and punch and congratulate all the recipients. Thank you for coming.